Hello, my name is Ramses Marcelli, and I am the library liaison to the School of Education. What I wanted to do today was kind of just take you through our library, some of our databases, some of the catalog, show you kind of how to navigate everything. There's also some PowerPoint slides, which I will be kind of going back and forth between our homepage and our databases and the PowerPoint. So you'll have both. You have this video and then you'll have the PowerPoint slides. Now, let me share my screen here. And so as I said, today what we'll be going through, this is my PowerPoint. So this is kind of what we're going to cover, how to access the library website, how to find books and other materials, how to develop research strategies, finding peer-reviewed articles, and using citation managers. There's quite a bit to go through, but what I want to most, the point I want to drive the most is that I'm here to help. You can always contact me. You will also have access to other librarians if I'm not available at the time. So, we are here to help. Okay, so accessing our website, our homepage. The URL is library.fiu.edu. Let me take you back to it. Here it is. And there's a couple of things that I want to make you aware of. Is that first of all, you'll see this ask us little widget here, which you can collapse. But what this is a chat option. You could either here search FAQs, or you can actually generate a chat with a librarian. So Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on the weekends from 12 to 6 p.m., there's a librarian there. So if you have any questions regarding, research, citation, pretty much any other questions that you might have from the library, you will be able to get your answers right there. Another feature or service that we have is interlibrary loans. If you go to use right here and click on interlibrary loan and you borrow, you can create an interlibrary loan account, an ILIA account. And what this is, well, we do have a lot of, of course, books and articles and videos, but we don't have everything. So if there's anything that you may ever need, you can get it through interlibrary loan, whether it is a physical book or an article, electronic article. Of course, this is a free service, and what I would recommend is that you use it if you don't have a big time crunch. If this is something later on for your dissertation or thesis, and you have a little bit of time to wait to get it, then I would definitely use it. But if you have sort of a time crunch, I might not. I might, you might want to go ahead and look for a different article, because it can take a few days. So, and then the other really important thing is logging in for access. Please always log in for access. Now, we're going through a bit of a change now. So you should there just be one login access. Now there's two. There's Athens and there's Easy Proxy, which is the old way to do it. Now, eventually everything will be through Athens, but we're kind of working on that. So you may want to maybe just log in with Athens, which is the same username and password that you would use for your Canvas classes. Or you can do Easy Proxy, which is the 14-digit number in the back of your Panther One card, and then the password would be the month and day of your birthday, and it would be 4 digits, month and day of your birthday. Now, eventually, everything, like I said, will be through Athens. But meanwhile, especially if you're online students, you may need your ID card. So if you don't, I would advise you to please, request it, because you will need it to log into some of the databases. All right, so I have already logged in, I think, and we're gonna get going. So how do we find, the resources we need? Well, if you're looking for a book, which most of you will probably be looking for electronic resources. So we do also have electronic books. So if you're looking for a book, you will click here on catalog, and then just do a search either by author, by ESBN number, by title. So for example, I'm going to look for the Encyclopedia of Education. This is one thing that books are very good for. They're good for background resources and historical context. So for example, we have all these different encyclopedias of education and many other books in electronic form. So you could actually search, as you can see, for example, this one is available online. Then you would just click here, go directly to it. Let's see, it's waiting. And then, for example, just click in any of these windows, and you will be able to read it as you would any other, ebook, from a regular e-reader. So that is how you find books. This is sort of the easy part, but I just kind of wanted to get it, make you aware of it, because as I said, there's going to be a lot of historical or background research that is very important, and a lot of that will come from books, encyclopedias, and such. So you can always search by, for example, you can do an advanced search, and then that'll allow you to search by author, just sort of narrow it down a little bit more. All right. Now, as far as searching in databases, which is what you will be doing the most, in order to put all of our, sort of streamline the process, we have put all of our databases together by topic. And the way you get to that is by, and I'm glad I put it here in the slides. First of all, you go from our homepage, you will go to Research Start, Research Start, then to Subject Resources, and then you find Education. So let's go ahead and do that. We are Research Start. Click on it. And then we'll go to Subject Resources. And then scroll down to Education. Now, when you get to this page, you'll see that there's two main tabs here. We have guides and databases. So guides, what these are library guides. We call them LibGuides. And they're kind of there to make the life a little bit easier. As you can see, some of them are class specific. Sometimes they can be even assignment specifics, but we do have a regular guide called Education Resources. So if there's ever anything, any sort of information you forgot either from this video, or there's no one available in chat, it's off hours, you could always come to this guide, Education Resources, and in here you see where each one of these subsections they touch on, or it touches on what we're going to be talking about today. So finding journal articles, we're about to do that. Scholarly versus popular publications, how to find books and ebooks, we just did that. DVDs and streaming videos, that you find those the same way you find books and ebooks. That will be under catalog. Also test and measures, so very important, and statisticals and data. So I wanted to show you this because there's a lot here. We have this database, Data Planet, who is, it has, this is not an exaggeration. It is billions of points of data, and there's a lot of education data in there, a lot to track down. We have, a LibGuide, a library guide dedicated to just Data Planet. So I'm not going to touch on it too much today. I just want to concentrate on some of the purely education databases. Is mostly, of course, stats and data, but there's also a guide that has been built so to help you navigate that. We also have a link here to Miami-Dade County Public Schools statistical highlights. So you can also have access to that, special abstracts. So there's a lot of what, like government info there. So a lot of government documents that are sometimes necessary for your research. Okay, now moving on, I'm going to go back to the main landing page. So we have here we had guides. Now let's take a look at databases. Now, I do have it here in the slides, the main databases that you will be using, but just in case, we put them under our best bets. So these are the three main ones that you would probably start with. And then I've added a few other databases, including Data Planet, that you can also use for your research. Also here, there is the contact info for your friendly education librarian. Please just click here and this will generate an email. You could also give me a call to set up an appointment. I do individual sessions over Zoom, live, over the phone. So I'm here to help. At the end, I will put, well, my contact info is also, excuse me, it's also in one of the PowerPoint slides, but you know that you could always find it here also. Now, let's take a look at the databases. Edweek.org, this is what we call a trade publication. So it is, and they produce a lot. They produce, I think it's about maybe 20 to 25 articles a day, but it is a trade publication. So it is written, what that means is it is written by public school teachers, administrators, counselors, and it is geared towards K through 12 education. There's a lot of, up to the minute, what's happening. For example, how is local politics affecting the school board? How, a lot of those things. There's also mock lesson plans. So there's a lot there to explore. But as I said, this is not what we would call peer review. This is, it's a trade publication. It's definitely good information if you should need it, but it's not what we call it. It's not what peer review is. So let me touch on a little bit then on ERIC, which is the main database that you'll always that you will always use. This is, of course, sponsored by the U.S. Department of Education, and it says, thousands and thousands of articles. Now, let's take a look at what ERIC looks like. So as you can see, the default setting is on advanced search. And as you can see, we have this different search boxes, and you can actually add a few or keep adding. Now, the way this is it kind of helps you to set up your search strategy. Let me go back here to our search strategy. So the way, it is set up the way it looks, because searching in these types of databases is sort of the opposite of what you do in Google. Google, you can you can construct a question that it is a full sentence, and it kind of knows, it already knows what you're looking for. Here, the way we do our search strategy is that you take your your research question, and then you find your keywords, and then just use those keywords as your search terms, and you combine them with either and or not. Okay, I'm going to go through it step by step, little by little, so because it's not as complex as it sounds. So for example, let's say my research topic is, I want to know the effects of stress in college students. Now, what I need to do from here is just select my main key points, in this case is just stress and college students. Sometimes you could use effects too, but I'm pretty sure that once you do the search, if you just do stress and college students, that should be enough. So this is really all you do, is find the main points in your research question. That's why every good research has to start with a full, a complete question. Okay, now you're going to use and, or, and not to combine these terms. How do we do that? So, and includes two or more terms together in the same search, okay? And you use those with your independent concepts. Now, or you would actually use related concepts. What do I mean by this? Let me go back. When it comes to each one of these terms, you could actually, this is the part where you can get a little creative and come up with as many possible ways that you can, explain or say these terms, and then you combine those with or. And what it does is it gives you more, it gives you a chance to get more results. If you were to look at it, for example, so another, word for stress might be anxiety, and another, word for students could be, for example, undergraduates or university students. And the way, if you're more of a visual learner, it kind of looks like this. So you can look for stress and college students, and of course, and is what contains both of them. But you could also add college students or undergraduates, and in a sense, you'll be doing two separate searches. You'll be looking for stress and college students, and also for stress and undergraduates. It just gives you more of a chance to get more results in case one of these, terms was not used in a particular article, but the other term was used, then that article would be drawn from the results. So now let's take a look at how that looks in ERIC. So for example, I'm going to write stress. Oops. As you can see, and is already there. So I'm going to link it with and the thing that you could do with or is that if you're combining terms with or, you don't have to jump to a different search box. You can just right here type or. And the system will recognize this as one of the searching Boolean characters. Now, down here, you could also search for peer-reviewed. So what peer-reviewed means is that before the article is published, it has to go through a fairly serious vetting process. So it has to be approved and read by a panel of, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 7 people who are also experts in the field, and so make sure that everything is correct and there's no bias, and the methodology was done the way correctly, the way it's supposed to be. So what it means to you is when you're looking for a peer-reviewed article is that it makes it a solid source. It makes it a credible, usable source. So you could look for peer-reviewed. You could also start narrowing down by dates. You have most of the 98% is going to be in English, so I wouldn't click anything here. You're looking for your document types. I would also probably let that go. You could narrow it down by educational level. So in this case, we really don't, because we already have the level, the educational level is in the search question. But this is something that you can do. And you could also narrow it down by target audience. Now, I'm not going to do it here because I want to show you that if you forget to do it here in the results page, you will also be able to do that. So I'm going to click here. You could click, leave it anywhere. You could look for in the abstract. You could look for in title. So just for the sake of, showing you what you can do here, for the most part, I kind of tend to leave it anywhere. You could always, as I said, narrow it down more and more, but I'm going to click search. And here we have our results. Now, you can click here on peer reviewed. And as you'll see, that'll narrow down your results. So that's what you want. If you forgot to select a date, you can do that from here. So let's say, for example, I want the last 10 years. I could just click and grab and drag. Click on update. Oops. Okay, and now everything is here from 2010 until the present. You could also look at publication titles, document types, subject, education level, and target audience. Okay, so now let's take a look at how do we look at our results. The best way, a lot of these peer-reviewed articles are very long, so you can just click on the title and it'll take you to the abstract. So the abstract is sort of, this little paragraph or so that tells you what the paper is about. It'll also tell you what kind of methodology was used, if there's a study, the number of subjects. There's a lot of information there. Some of you may have some assignments where you're looking for a quantitative study that uses more than 50 test subjects and within the last 10 years. Well, all of that information can be found in the abstract. If you decide that this is an article that you want to read further, you can look for either where it says, either where it says full text, or if it says find it at FIU. If it says full text, you can just click here and the full text will appear, and also in PDF form, which is downloadable. If it says find it at FIU, it means we do not have it in ERIC, but it might be in a different database that we have. So if you click here, okay, it'll take you to EBSCOhost login. We're having a bit of issue with that. Yes, if that comes up, that means we don't have it at the moment, but you can still get it through Interlibrary Loan. Okay, remember we talked about Interlibrary Loan at the beginning of the session. So for the most part, you can get it in full text, and yeah, Interlibrary Loan on this case. And like I said before, if you do have a lot of time, then go ahead and get it. It should only take a few days. But if you don't, then I would advise that you don't. Now, another reason it might be giving me this is because I think I only signed on when I logged in. I only logged in this Open Athens. I believe if you log in through Easy Proxy, no, I am actually logged in. And let's see. No, so I've logged in both ways and I'm still coming up with this message. So which means that it is only available through Interlibrary Loan. Okay, now let's say we have our full text article. And see, you have it right there in PDF format. Now, if you click on the title and you look here where it says cite, there's a couple of good features here. A, you can email it. Email the citation to yourself. And B, you could actually get the full citation, make sure that it is in APA. Now we have gone from EPA 6th edition to 7th edition. So you can just do APA 7th edition, basic, and then copy and paste, and voila, there is your citation. You can also move some of the citations to a citation manager. If you go to all options, you will have either RefWorks or EndNote, EasyBib, a lot of the citation. Now with citation, we used to recommend, and I want to show you this. With citation managers, we used to strongly recommend RefWorks, mainly because we had it as part of our databases, and we paid for it, and it's a great citation manager and it's a really great resource. However, not sure how much longer we will have it. So what we've actually done is we're creating citation managers workshops where we can show you guys all the 4 major citation managers: RefWorks, Zotero, Mendeley, and EndNote. And if you go onto this page, it's actually a LibGuide. If you go into this page, there's a 5 or so minute long video on each one of the citation managers, because they're very, very important, especially for graduate school. And it's a way to put all of your citations together by either class, assignment, by and then it also creates the bibliography pages. I'm sorry, it can create a bib page. So if you go to this onto this URL, not only will you be able to see short videos explaining how each one of them functions and the pros and cons, but also you'll see a schedule. We have actually Citation Manager little seminars and webinars. You can watch them online, so you can see maybe recordings of the old ones and also get a schedule for the ones that we're doing this semester. Okay, so I think we've gone through quite a bit today. Hopefully you guys have a better idea now of course, how to get to our homepage, how to search for books and videos, more importantly, how to search for articles, for peer-reviewed articles, how to create your search strategy, which sounds more difficult than it is. Just take your main points and use AND to divide them, and then for each one of those main points, find as many different terms as possible that mean the same, and use OR to divide those, and then that's pretty much it. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back here, and because I did not touch on psych info, and it's very, let's see, back to education. So the reason we have psych info here is because there's a lot of articles there on educational psychology. So if your topic deals with more of the educational psychology side, you can use psych info in addition to ERIC. Now they're both ProQuest. They both look the same, and the search function is exactly the same. The results page looks exactly the same. If you're familiar with one, you'll be familiar with another. The only difference is that, of course, there's not like a grade level here, but you can select studies by methodology. So you have empirical studies, you have qualitative, quantitative studies, literature reviews. So there's a few changes, but in essence, they are the same thing. So remember, for educational psychology research, you can always start with ERIC, but always give psych info a try after. So once again, here's my information. If you have any questions, I know I went through a lot today, in sort of a very short period of time. But no worries. Remember, you have me to help. Contact me, and also you have the chat page. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for being here. I'll stop sharing now, and hopefully we'll see you guys around or online. Alrighty. Have a good one.